So, Meta's fourth quarter results came in and they were strong, really strong. But, the numbers themselves, they're not the real story here. They're the foundation. They're the fuel for what is now very clearly a huge strategic transformation. And that transformation is being driven completely by artificial intelligence. Listening to the earnings call, you could hear how direct Mark Zuckerberg was. He kept coming back to this one central idea. 2026 is going to be an acceleration point. He's not talking about some slow, gradual evolution here. No, this is a declared pivot. It's the moment where the company's entire trajectory and the real impact of all these AI investments is going to become way more visible to everyone. So where is all of this headed? Well, management has a name for it, and they said it over and over. Personal superintelligence. That's the destination. This is the core vision, and it goes way beyond just recommending the next video for you to watch. We're talking about an AI that truly understands your personal context, your history, your relationships, everything, and uses that to become a genuinely useful agent in your life. And they're framing this whole vision as the next logical step in how we experience media. I mean, think about it. We went from text to photos to video, but they see that progression as unfinished. The next phase, the one that AI makes possible, is content that's totally interactive and immersive, stuff that's generated and curated specifically for you. Now, to actually make this happen, to bring this vision to life, management is pretty clear that a whole new hardware platform is needed, and they've stated that AI-powered glasses are the ultimate goal. Imagine a device that can see what you see, hear what you hear, and then help you out, right there in your field of view as you go about your day. Okay, so this is obviously a massive, multi-decade vision. It's incredibly ambitious, and it's going to be really, really expensive. This is all made possible by an economic engine that's not just healthy, it's actually accelerating. The money, the capital, it all comes from the immense financial power of their core business. I'm talking about the family of apps. That segment grew revenue by a staggering 25% year over year in Q4. That's the engine. It's the primary source of cash that's funding these huge, long-term AI bets. And when you look under the hood, this revenue growth is structurally very sound. It's not just one thing. It's a really healthy mix of an 18% increase in ad volume, so more ads being shown, and a 6% increase in the average price per ad. That's a classic dual-engine growth story. It tells you that it's not just about more inventory. It's about higher advertiser demand. And that demand is a direct signal that the ads are performing better. The financial performance we're seeing is really just a reflection of what's happening with user engagement. It's the foundation. And across the board, the platforms are getting healthier, they're capturing more user attention. For instance, Reels watch time is up over 30% in the US. Even Threads saw time spent jump 20% just from one quarter to the next, and that was driven by better recommendations. Now, this kind of performance, it's not an accident. It's the direct result of some deep structural improvements they've made with AI. Management got into the details, talking about several key upgrades, things like a new learning architecture that helps the system get way better at understanding user history. They've also doubled the computing power used to train their main ad model, and they're making real progress on unifying all their different ad systems into one much more efficient platform. And it was interesting to listen to the specific language that the CFO, Susan Lee, used. She talked about simplifying our ranking architecture. The reason that matters is because it allows for more efficient scaling, and that in turn unlocks the ability to consider longer interaction histories. This isn't just jargon, it's a really crucial technical detail. It basically means their AI models are getting both smarter and faster all at the same time. So you take those technical upgrades, and you can see them translate directly into business impact. It's not abstract. The combination of that improved core model and the new learning architecture, well, it drove a very real 3.5% lift in ad clicks on Facebook just in the fourth quarter alone. That's a tangible result. And this AI revolution isn't just for their products. It's happening internally, too. Management pointed out a 30% increase in output per engineer just since the beginning of 2025, and that's largely thanks to AI coding tools. When you see that kind of productivity jump, it's a huge leading indicator of how fast the company is going to be able to develop things in the future. Okay, all of this, it brings us to the sheer scale of the investment we're talking about. Their guidance for capital expenditures in 2026 is just monumental. $115 to $135 billion. That is the fuel burn. That's what's required to build the massive infrastructure needed for this whole personal superintelligence vision. And in all of that guidance, here is the key financial signal. It's the thing to really pay attention to. Even with this unprecedented level of investment, the company has so much operational leverage from its core business that it still expects its absolute operating income to grow in 2026. That's incredible. This really lays out their capital allocation strategy for you. It's completely explicit. They are consciously, deliberately, taking the strength of today's advertising business and converting it, plowing it back into aggressive reinvestment in their future AI capabilities. What's even more telling is that even with all this massive spending, the internal demand for computing power is still outstripping the supply. The company literally said they expect to be capacity constrained for much of 2026. That one detail just underscores the incredible intensity of the AI race they are running inside their own walls. So when you put it all together, this internal intensity, the massive financial strength, and this very clear strategic pivot, a pretty clear narrative assessment of the company starts to emerge. First, let's talk about execution quality. What we're seeing is a company that's really operating at peak efficiency. That core ad engine isn't just stable, it's actually accelerating because these AI enhancements are driving real, measurable growth in revenue and engagement. And that amazing execution, it supports what is now a remarkable strategic clarity. The entire organization seems to be oriented around one single, unwavering, and incredibly ambitious goal: becoming the leader in personal superintelligence. All of this creates this powerful operational momentum. You've got these strong, positive feedback loops working. Product improvements drive more engagement. That engagement, in turn, fuels the ad revenue. And that ad revenue funds the next wave of AI research and infrastructure. It just keeps feeding itself. And finally, this leads to future optionality. This heavy, heavy investment. It's a deliberate choice. They are consciously converting today's profits into a proprietary at-scale compute infrastructure that very, very few companies on the planet will be able to replicate. It's about building a strategic moat for the future. So when you put all these pieces together, it leads to a pretty clear analogy for what Meta is right now. You can think of Meta as a company that's in metamorphosis. That incredibly profitable, mature advertising business, it's not just a cash cow, it's the chrysalis. It's providing all the energy and all the raw material to fundamentally rebuild the entire organism into something completely new, a vertically integrated intelligence company. And that immense capital burn we talked about, that's simply the biological cost of this transformation. It's a deliberate, calculated investment in a future where the company's success won't be measured by clicks and impressions anymore, but by the actual utility of its intelligence.